Okay, I refreshed it and reconnected. How about it? Anybody, can you hear me now? Sound now, okay. I don't know what happens once in a while when I try to get on here after I've had it, when I go ahead of time and schedule this. It's for some reason it disconnects everything and I've got to redo the whole thing. So anyway, glad to see everybody in here this morning. Tank Girl, I see you're here. Sound is back. Thank you. Oh, let's see here. What have we got going? I'm having a little trouble this morning, so I'm coughing. Kitty mama. Yeah, I feel okay. I've got a little bit of extra phlegm this morning, and so I've been coughing a little bit. We've got about 4 inches additional snow out there now, or at least that, I think. So after about an hour on here, I'm going to go out and start removing snow. So I'm not going to stay on here as long as I usually do. Hope nobody has too much of a problem on there. Again, it's an open chat. You got a subject you want to get out there and get into the discussion, feel free to send it up the tree here. How you doing, Cindy? We'll see what we can do here. Oh, what else we got going here? Trying to see, we don't have a mod in there today. Let me see what we can do. Noreen says Vermont is cold. Yeah, I'll bet it is. I've been up at the highest point of Vermont in July and seen snow before, and that was back in I think it was 1988. Kitty Mama, good morning. All right, Lucinda, we'll do that. Here we go. All right. Cindy, you're right now, I think it should have took hold. So when you come back up around, it should show as you're a moderator. London is wet. Tank Girl, I didn't realize you're in London. I guess I forgot about that. Lucinda says, I'm good. People, Ray. Okay. We'll see if you're a good mod too. All right. There we go. Now we're set up again. I noticed, did any of you get to see Tully's Lisa yesterday or last night? If you did, there was a lot of information on there. I fell asleep around, I think it was 10 o'clock. So I didn't see all her show, but this morning I went over it and man, she had some surprising information about the people that follow Mr. Hales. I don't know if you guys picked up on all that or not, but if you didn't, go back and check it out. I see Judy on here from southern Montana is cold with snow. Yeah. I know it gets cold out there. I've got some relatives out there in different areas, but they're relatives from my wife's side, not blood relatives of mine. Matter of fact, she's got a lot of relatives out there. Oh, let's see what else we got going here. Let's see. Anyway, some of that stuff last night of the people that are surrounding Mr. Hales, I didn't realize the kind of people that he was drawn in. And if I'd have known that, I would have never ever got on his channel in the first place. They say birds of a feather. Now I'm beginning to worry about people that have got around him a little bit. It certainly doesn't look like people that you would have at your supper table or even breakfast table. So talking about breakfast, this morning, I got up early with the pup because he wanted to go out like he does every day. He likes to water the outside out there and fertilize the lawn. Well, it was covered with snow today, so he had to tiptoe out there most of the way, and it's not very warm. And of course, I was doing the same tiptoe. I went out there in my tennis shoes. They were handy at the door. That is not a good way to go out into 4 inches of snow. I can tell you right now. They fill up with snow and they're still wet and they're sitting in the boot tray. Who else did come in here? I'm sorry if I'm coughing today. I don't know if I'm going to be able to stop it or not. I've had that cough since I got up this morning. It's just kind of like there's a tickle in my throat. Let's see if I can drown it with water, and I'll drown it with coffee in a minute. Cindy said I called him out 7 years ago when he first broke up with George. I've been blocked ever since. Yeah, he blocks. I've blocked a lot of people too, mainly because if I get into a conversation with them and I try to warn them ahead of time that I'm not particularly fond of what they're saying, and they keep it up, then we depart company. I send them out away from my channel. Yeah. One of the people who came on my channel, this was quite a while ago, had said they go to my channel. I had told people how to figure out if they're being ghosted or not. And some of his paying members had been ghosted because he had put on there, they couldn't be seen or heard. And all you have to do is check out of YouTube and go back to the channel that you posted on and see if your posting shows. If you're checked out of the YouTube and you go back in, the postings you had will not show if you've been ghosted. If you haven't been ghosted, then obviously it'll show up. Now, when you're ghosted, if you're signed in to the YouTube, it'll show to you but nobody else. But one thing you'll notice is everybody else might be getting all these likes on there for what they posted, and yours won't. Yours won't grow. And that's why, because nobody else can see what you put up there. And he had paying members that he had ghosted. And when they finally figured it out, when somebody had put it on their video how to figure it out, they were done with it. So here they were paying to be on there, but couldn't be. Yolanda, good morning. Yeah, it's not too bad a day out there as far as it's nice and bright, but the sun is kind of behind a light clouds, and there's, I'd say 4+ inches of snow out there. I happen to be right on the line to get that 4 inches. Just south of me, I don't think they got anywhere near that. But Yolanda said, good morning to all. Cindy, that's a good way to do it. That's a good way to start the day out. Good morning, Birdie. Where's Birdie Pug? I didn't see you on here, so sorry about that. I was probably busy talking. Sometimes when I'm talking, I'm not looking at the chat here. And so I look right past the names. How you doing this morning, Ruth? Stacy said they still haven't got too much there. When it started falling down, it was great big flakes, and it kind of slowed down a little bit. And then all of a sudden, when I took Puppy out last night, I had more snow. And then when I got this morning, it had piled up pretty good. The heck with it is, I had my deck all cleared off back there, and the railings, and a place for him to go out there without having to walk through a bunch of snow. And now it's all snowed back in. And my driveways, I got 2 driveways out here. They're double wide driveways. And it takes me a while to get the snow off from them, even if it isn't too heavy. But after about an hour on here today, I'm going to shut it down and go out there and do it. The snow is light enough that my snowblower will be able to blow it way out, and it won't pile up right next to the driveway. Oh, all right. 3 inches in Florida last night. Are you kidding me? What is that, way in northern Iowa? Ohio? Florida. Well, I'm really in another world this morning. Rain, okay. Oh my goodness. What was I thinking? Judy, how you doing this morning? You got a foot of snow? I was surprised for it being the first snow. Wow. Yeah, that is a surprise when the first snow of the year is a foot. Lucinda said there's been rain off and on for the last 3 days. Yeah. I forgot to take my rain gauge in, and last week I happened to look down at it, and it looked like it was all right, but when I lifted it out of the thing that it holds on, the bottom was broke out of it. It seems like every other year I forget to take whatever rain gauge I've got out of the holder, and they get busted. The first freeze hits it, and bang, it's done. Again, did all of you get to see Lisa's channel last night? If not, you might want to take a look at it. She has gotten a lot of reports back into her from the people that are surrounding Mr. Hales and have YouTube channels up of the things that they do for sidelines. And it's going to surprise some of you. Some of it, you wonder what is going on, because he seems to knock down everybody that hangs around or comes into Lisa's channel or mine or Robbie's. And yet the people he's knocking down are nothing compared to what is following his channel, or are actually a part of it, that report back on everything, every word that man says, with permission from him, apparently, because he doesn't nail him for that. So it might surprise some of you. You might want to look at my cat's down here trying to play with the wires. They're not hooked in. She's upset with me because she wants more food, and she's been terrorizing me ever since she got done this morning. John, how you doing this morning? John, I was wondering, you probably got in there to Lisa's show last night. What did you think of her show? I guess what I really want to know is, what do you think of those people that seem to be following his channel and mimicking his words that he says out there on their own channel? What do you think about some of them, some of their background, and some of the things that they do? How about the guy with the wet diaper? I think she got her show hijacked halfway through, though. I don't know. It was when I went through it this morning, and it seemed like everything was there. John says only one watched about 60 minutes of it. That's all I did, John. I fell asleep at 10 o'clock last night. I came back this morning and went through the rest of it. You might want to go back and look at it. You might see some weird things going on, like one of the channels on there that mimics, that brings everything that Mr. Hales seems to hold true, likes to run around in wet diapers. That's my understanding, okay? And there's some others with some funny habits that you might want to look at just in case, because some of them you might not want to get close to. Pretty nasty, some of them. So just a word of warning. You might want to look at some of the stuff. It'll give you an insight to what kind of people hang around this man. And says Robbie and Gabe just started a whole new conversation while she was talking about Tug. They were hilarious. Yeah, there was a part in there where she did get hijacked. I had a hard time hearing some of it. My hearing is at the point that if there's more going on than just one conversation, they block each other out kind of. So it's a little tough for me. John says they're criminals and maggots. I agree. Yep. I don't know how YouTube allows some of the things that's went on. It don't make sense to me, I guess. Maybe way back when somebody said there's Jeremy's got some contacts in there that kind of protect him. That I don't know if that's true or not, but he seems to lead a charmed life when it comes to being able to say things on here with immunity. So last night was hard to hear. There were parts in there where a couple of them kind of talked over each other. There was more than one conversation going, and it was kind of equal volumes. And when that happens, I don't hear any of that part. It's too garbled. I don't know if any of them realized what happened or not. It does happen, though, on channels. At first, you don't know whether it was a TV in the background or two people talking. But last night, Gabe and Robbie were talking for a while there. Excuse me, I just tried. I've had some sinuses this morning, and I'm having a little coughing problem. Yeah, Bobby says, I have that problem too. Once there are several conversations going, I can't listen anymore because I can't understand what anyone's saying. It makes it a little hard. It does. If they're talking at different volumes, sometimes I can pick it up because I can concentrate on one or the other. But there was times there where there was at least three talking at the same time, and that scrambled it for me. I don't mind it. I mean, I just wait till it calms down, and then I can understand what somebody's saying. Now, the other thing is you can go into the down there where and look at just the words themselves. Put the CC on there, and sometimes that'll decipher it for you. Sylvia, how are you doing this morning? Nine Chins. Good morning, Nine Chins. You have to excuse me. I think I'm going to have the problem with my throat probably all morning. Every once in a while, when I get up, the COPD that I've got, I get a lot of phlegm in my lungs. And when I wake up, it's trying to get out, I think. And So it takes a while. And maybe I came on here a little bit too early. I should have maybe waited till later today when had a little cleared up my lungs. It happens, especially if I get out in the cold first thing in the morning. It seems to really work overtime. Let's see here. Soggy diapers. Yeah, Stacy. Can you imagine? Oh, those people. And I guess, didn't that person also have some sort of a animal stuff on or something, fur, or I don't. I didn't quite understand it all, but it was way over my head. But it didn't sound like it was a good thing for these people, and it certainly didn't sound like a good person to be around. How you doing, Nine Chins? Glad to see you in here. Soggy diaper, that's a good way to put it. Somebody pees or defecates in there, and then they advertise to try to get somebody to change it for them. Don't make sense to me, but there must be something going on there. These people honestly needed psychological help, but either can't or won't seek it. I think that a lot of times they try to look like a normal life, and when they go on a Facebook or a social media showing these things, they're trying to get people that have the same type of fetish to contact them and join in with them, I'm assuming. And apparently these people never thought it would get out into the public like it is right now. But a lot of it happened, I think, for the rest of us to find out about them, simply because between Jeremy and Megan and Tug, and they started throwing stuff out there of backgrounds. And I know Lisa had said something a little bit about background on Tug from way back in 2017. And all that shows up. All you have to do is put his name in there, and you'll see he was mixed up with some comic stuff. But there's some deep dive stuff that Tug was mixed into. I looked at it a little bit and got back out. Mainly, I don't want to leave tracks in some of that stuff, because to get in there and look at very much of it, your IP and all that's going to be standard fare on there. I don't want to be associated with some of the things that I've seen on there. Milltown says, "Hi, Ray. It's a beautiful Sunday morning, and I hope you are smiling. Today, I plan to continue holding an attitude of gratitude because I know what love is. Some people only know hate." Yeah, yep, that's true, Dave. I'm glad to see you in here, and you're always welcome. Bonnie says, I can't stay, but just warning, don't look up that person's name in furry on Google. What comes up is absolutely disgusting. It is on an adult-only site. I about threw up. I didn't go into that particular site. What I did is chase some of them down that Tug was on and backed out of them. This was before his Johnny Depp stuff. And somebody talked on there about knowing if he was had training, psychological training, whatever it is. And it looked to me like he had some training, but only enough to act as a counselor. And what I've seen in the past on counselors, sometimes it's somebody that has very little training, but have experience because of their own inadequacies, and somehow get recommended to assist other people. It's kind of like when you're going through the steps of alcoholism, when you give up alcohol, things like that. Now, I don't know what this Tug character has all went through. But I couldn't find anything where he had a degree to give him. I did see in there that he was a counselor, though. And also it made mention in there that the girl that he married, or the woman, and she wasn't a girl by the time he married her, but he had apparently been her counselor when she was younger. And there was some controversy over it. I'm not going to repeat what the controversy was. Anybody can look up his background. If you go back in to about 2017, go back 8 years, I guess, on it, 6 to 8 years, and you'll see what he was before what he's become. And what he was a piece of what he becomes. So, you know, a pile of. I would say I'd go along with Bonnie. Don't look up that guy. That's his person's name, and furry on Google. So I'd heard in the chat that it was not good to look at. So Stacy says they literally wear soggy diapers and pee on each other. Oh my goodness! Like, how is that a thing? Ew. Sorry, not to offend anyone, and still should be kept in the personal life, not on X or any media. Stacy, I really believe that those people come out like that so they can get other people around them that have the same fetish. Unfortunately, there are people on here that seem to have that draw people like that into their channel, and I'm not sure why these people are following Jeremy so closely and repeating things from his show. They're, to me, they're kind of like a bottom feeder. But it goes to show you what they are. A lot of times, if you go into their background years before they ever got involved with Jeremy, you see the characters there are. So what I'm assuming is that nobody that is around Jeremy close enough is vetting these people. They're taking them, if they have enough followers and are willing to say things that are not exactly on the right side of on morals, they seem to take them in without thought. And what I'm seeing is that must be going on. I was surprised at the different things that these people are doing or have done in the past. So just, it's a word of warning. If you go in and look at these people too close, you may see something you don't. But the other thing I want to warn you about, if you go in and look at some of this stuff, more than likely you'll leave a trace from your computer, whether it's your IP or something. And I'm not so sure it's a good idea to go to search. If you see something that looks like it's going into a deep spot, something you shouldn't be in, my advice is this: just get out of there. It's not good to follow. Cross, hey, good morning, and I hope you feel better soon. Also, double shot of Neo's Citron might help, as I got the same bad cough and found that helps me for a little while. Yeah, sometimes I take a cough drop and it helps. Every once in a while I get this because I get phlegm from the COPD causes problems in my lungs. And the deeper sleep I have, the worse problem is in the morning. So it takes an hour or two to get cleaned out. Oh, let's see who else we got in here this morning. Johnson says they complain about Harley sometimes in a diaper, but yet grown people wear them. The grown people are following Jeremy around. If you notice, okay, that one that they called out is one of his backers. Yeah, matter of fact, if I remember, way on quite a while back, John, I think if you can correct me if you want, but I believe that Jeremy had shown a picture of Harley that had, I don't know if he got it off from Michelle's Facebook or where he got it. Apparently it was a picture she had posted, and I think Harley had been in the pool or something, and he only showed her in a diaper from the waist down, if I believe. But who takes children and puts their picture from the waist down in a diaper? I've never heard of it done before. That was the first I've ever heard of it, and that goes back a couple, 2 or 3 years ago, I believe. Yeah, and I haven't seen the picture. Okay, I'd heard at different times on YouTube here that's one of the things that he had done. It happened to be when they were talking about some pictures he had taken of a young girl, I think. I don't know how old, and seemed to concentrate in an area that wouldn't be normal for somebody that's going to post pictures of young people. Caddy says, I'm a subscriber, but my chat is turned off. You're talking about over, yeah. Well, that happens. That means you're ghosted, Caddy. And you can go in there when you're on YouTube. You'll see your comment, but you won't see it if you check out of YouTube and go look for it. You won't find it, and nobody else will be able to look at it either. It won't have any marks on it where somebody said they like it. It'll always be 0. Milltown. On the plus side, I was happy to hear that J-Hip fellow was streaming on a real news story this morning, not his normal grift. Huh. I didn't know J-Hip could speak enough English that he could actually be streaming on about real news on there and everybody'd understand it. To me, it always sounded more like somebody 12 years old or less that was having a speech impediment of some kind, the way he talked. But and I don't say much about it because I honestly thought there was a problem with this. It was a personal problem. But it's good to know, Middletown. They had them on when they jumped from an airplane. You talk about the diapers? Lord. I hope they didn't spray the crowd that was underneath watching. Let's see. Accidentally clicked on YouTube songs and saw you're singing songs. Well done, Yolanda. Yeah, there's quite a few on there. I have another channel, another channel or another thing that I belong to. It's called Sing Snap, where I sing on there. And then I used to post some stuff on YouTube. I've got on the other corner, I used to have a setup over there where I could sit down and just plug my computer in, and I could sing over there without disturbing anything. I just plug it in. It was balanced. I tried to keep things balanced, and I was able to do that in that corner without overwhelming echoes and things like that. Let's see. Yes, they got it off of Michelle's Facebook page before it was closed, and it was a picture of Harley in a diaper zoomed in on her crotch. Yeah. Why would anybody do that? They seem to think it's okay for him to do it, and they're after everybody else for even mentioning that somebody even has a child. And they've done this to stuff to John and Michelle for 3 years at least, maybe 4. It's been quite a while, just about since they met him. It's just unreal. Thanks for straightening it out for me, John. I appreciate it. Oh, Helen said, that made me so mad, John. Middletown, yeah, he's not my cup of tea. I just pray it's a sign he is moving on from the hate. You're talking about J-Hip. Middletown, I'm going to tell you right now, this guy tried to tear me a new asshole. And I didn't appreciate it. He don't have much of a following. And to me, he sounds like somebody that has never got through sixth grade, in my opinion. Whatever his game is, he can play it somewhere else. I don't want him in my backyard, but I can't stop him on YouTube, obviously, because YouTube has allowed this type of people to do what they want. And anybody that tries to do an honest job on here seems to get penalized for it. So he was the first to comment on J.H.'s post about the lawyer supposedly not showing up. So no, there you go. Shows his true colors, right? Stacy says, I doubt it. Super Dave, I doubt it. Ugh, Helen, such sadness. Yep. It's hard for these people to change their stripes. The way to tell if they're turning over a new leaf, look at what they were doing before they started following Jeremy. That's my advice. And some of it you're not going to want to repeat on here for sure. And all of you out there, be very careful when you have looked at something and you tell somebody else, well, go look at this, until you've vetted it enough to find out whether they're going to follow you home. And when I say home, I mean, I'm talking about to your computer you're operating on. You might pick up a Trojan horse in there. You get into some of these deep things, you can have a lot of troubles follow you back. And I don't think you want it. Two Lees, good morning. Is that Gabe or Lisa? Gabe. How you doing, Gabe? Oh. Everybody in Gabe is in the channel today, so say hi to him if you want. He's using Lisa's phone. So you might think it's Lisa, but it's Gabe. Oh, heck. Yeah, remember the time of the day it is. If Lisa's on there this time of the day, it means she didn't go to sleep yet. It'd be hard to catch her early in the morning. You're always going to catch Gabe because he gets up, and I think this is Sunday. Hopefully he's not going out there working somewhere. But anybody else notices how inappropriate Jeremy was filming patients? Yes. Yeah. I seen how he picked her up. That should be a telltale sign. And as far as her mother saying something or the father, they live in his house. The one that he seemed to finance some of the work on with his kids' money that was given to him by his ex-wife's father. When he left, he took $10,000 apiece from his children with him. And if you look at the court records, his wife asked for it back to be put back in, and it never was. And when I followed the court records all the way to the end before the divorce was finalized, it was dropped out. I don't know why, the request, but it was on there in the beginning when she first filed for divorce. And if you remember when Jason got on there, he said that he had requested that money back, and his father has not done it, or didn't do it, or didn't want to. Okay. I'm just telling you, he came on there. If you want to look at Jason has his own channel. Nobody asked him about it. It was something he volunteered. And I will tell you this, the paperwork that was submitted to the courts by the counselors had the same verbiage in it that Jason did when he was telling his story about coming up in his childhood. Lisa's sleeping. When I wake up, she's just getting in the bed. I kind of figured that, Gabe. She's a night person, and you're the day person that gets drug into the night. Oh, heck. I worry about Jay has PNC between a rock and a hard spot. If they wanted to part ways, they financially couldn't. I don't think they could at this point. I think he'll allow him to make enough money to be dependent on him, but never enough to get away. And that's kind of the way somebody does, that people do that have that type of a personality. I don't want to go deep into his personality because I'm not a doctor. I can only tell you that it is one where it's hard to get away from. If you become a part of their group in their mind, you are permanent stature until he says goodbye. The when you were talking about the way he had picked that girl up, it was inappropriate, I think, but that's my opinion, and I would have never allowed somebody in my house again that did that to any of my children. Matter of fact, there would have been more to it than just saying, get out of my house. The Linda Life. Good morning, Linda. Just getting on as I have been on the phone with my cousin in Des Moines. She got snow. Did you get any more, Ray? I got 4 inches, Linda. If you ever come back on a vacation or something, give me a call. I'll sure welcome you in for a cup of coffee or a lunch or something. So I'd like to meet you. And maybe I'll get to meet you when I come down this spring. I'll be down in the Ocala area down there. Oh, heck. Oh, the person that we should not mention is though kids wrapped around his finger. Yeah. I'm beginning to wonder if there's anybody that gets very close to him. It's disturbing that, people that are out there in these channels that say all these nasty things about other people. And then they cry if somebody says something about them. And they cry like they're going to tear the world apart. They're going to get at you. They're going to follow you. They're going to do all kinds of stuff to you. It's all threats. Did any of you listen to what he said about people that are going to come in and testify for Michelle and John? On here, it sounded like he said, so, and this is my opinion, something about recording them and using their words on another lawsuit. To me, that sounds like intimidation. Now, if a lawyer was to submit that to the judge in that case up there, the PO case, I would think that would be an automatic, immediate dismissal of what's going on right now, because intimidation of a witness is serious, absolutely against the law by federal and state guidelines. You tell me, what do you people out there think? And why is he allowed to do that? Now, when Bruce submitted the paperwork, Bruce submitted all the intimidation that was against him, his wife, and his 14-year-old daughter, and got away with it. Now, why do you think that is? Because every time something like that, when a person gets away with it, they get braver. But guess what else happens? The people around him do. Now, Megan got on there, and because I had laughed at one of her a AI video that was put up by Rich, and it was funny, the video was, she threatened to do something similar to my daughter. What would I think about it? Is that intimidation or blackmail, or just what do you call it? I mean, the two are so correlated with each other. My daughter heard it before I did. That's from this itchy person with a big B. Put that out on her Facebook. I can get the first little bit of a Facebook, but that's it. Then it always blocks me out because I don't have Facebook. But what do you people think about that when they come on there and they start intimidating your family? They started with Bruce in the very beginning, but now it's spread out to any of us that follow. They do everything they can. Look at what they did to Lisa. They went after Gabe. The one person that Lisa, I mean, this couple is in love with each other. And so they attack your loved one. And I don't know if they actually mean what they say when they make these attacks, or if they're trying to get a reaction out of you to get you to attack back so that they can go after you then in reality. The people that follow them repeat their words over and over. And I wonder how long it's going to be before they come to each of our house. I already have somebody that volunteered in JHIP channel to come to my place to check my RV out. Oh, yeah, guy named Clark Stark. Then it's a put on. It's just a handle. It's not a real name. You know, there's there's nobody in this town called that. And I have had a pickup truck come down here and sit in my driveway a couple of times. They haven't been able to get the license plate yet. Tell me, has anything like that happened to anybody out there? Have any of you had any kind of a personal attack come back on you from Facebook or YouTube or TikTok or whatever the hell they have out there? Let's see. Yeah, Milton says sound like witness intimidation, in my opinion. Lucinda says, agreed, Ray. Jeremy said that anyone who doesn't shut their mouth will be sued too. I'm already being sued, so I guess it's no big deal. If I can protect myself, I'm going to do it. And the retaliation here is verbiage only. I have no intention of sending somebody's way to do something that I wouldn't do myself, or sending somebody instead of me facing up to it. I'm man enough. I'll get right in your face and tell you what I think of you. But that's just me. I don't send any minions after anybody out there, and I'm not going to. AI can make your words say anything. That's right. You know, I'm going to tell you something. Early on, when they were chasing Bruce, there was somebody on there using his name and my name and going into the different chats. And the way we both kind of caught on to it was one name would always follow the other right behind it. So it was probably either AI or somebody that had more than one channel that was doing it. And they did it for about, I don't know, maybe a month. And I had brought it up on my channel several times that there was somebody out there using my name on other people's channel and saying things that shouldn't be said. So that's always possible when you think you've seen, whether it's me or somebody else, saying something that it really wasn't us. In the case of Bruce and I, the way I caught on to it was the fact that the names followed each other always in the chats, one after the other. And I don't know why they picked the two of us and decided to put us on there. Somebody must have really hated us. Yeah, Ray, we are all guilty by association, according to those people. Yep. We don't have the right to agree with each other, is apparently what's going on out there. And it's all right for them to use immoral or illegal things because they're getting away with it. If they get away with it, it's fine. That's their way of dealing with the law until they're stopped. So we know that the court of law is the only thing that's going to stop these people. And the lawsuits aren't going to stop until they come along and say, you can no longer do this. It has to be scrutinized before you file. I'm just telling you, that's the way it's going to be. Yeah, it is definitely, Linda, you're right. It's definitely intimidation. They all need to be held accountable, for the rest of us would be in the same situation. Remember, he's talking about the people in the chats right now too, and the mods. And he threatened the mods almost a year ago, or maybe a little over that, when I did my first live on here. And I warned you guys, if you're going to be a mod, think of it this way. It's every possibility he'll come after you. And he's proven that by going after different mods. So, that's a good one. Yeah. Caddy, Jay's is so low he can walk under a rock. Add buried rock to that. Notice Megan can't face you directly and has to use your daughter to get to you. Well, let me tell you something. When they first found out and they posted my email address out there before I ever received my summons to be in the court thing, and then somebody had brought up why did they post the summons with all our emails out there? She was the first one to send me an email. And then she sent, and it had to do with that, me laughing about her thing about Rich, putting that, looked like she was bobbing for apples in a barrel. But anyway, yeah, I can't help it. It was so silly at the time. And she made a big deal out of it, more of a big deal than anything else. You could obviously tell, not only was it not real, but it was so silly that it was meant more like a joke than anything else. And it got her goat. She can't take it when somebody says something about her. But if you want, she talks about other people, whether, they're what they look like, things like that. Well, when you compare her to somebody else, about anybody out there, quite frankly, she don't come off very, very good. That's just my opinion. And maybe that's just how I feel that things that upset my stomach are usually not good for you, right? She's a coward. She hides behind her channel and she likes to make a lot of noise. By the way, on Reddit, if you want to see some things, go on there and see some of the things that are being said about her on Reddit. And there are things in Facebook too, but it calls her out about the things that she said. And they interviewed some of the people where she had went after them. I looked at some of those interviews in the past week, and they're not good. So it's not like she just all of a sudden became this person that she is right now. This is something apparently she's been on the edge of for a while. And there's some people who were hurt pretty bad by the things that she said out there. And if you notice, she was getting a lot of airtime on channels that are pretty familiar around the United States. And then it was cut off all of a sudden. It quit. You ever wonder why? My advice is go back in and start researching her background, her ways that she reports in. And the more drama and vicious she became, the more popular she was until bang, it stopped. That's what I'll tell you. You go back there and look and see what you think. The fact that you are even worried about those things proves cyber stalking and harassment, Ray. Well, the big problem is if my daughter hadn't seen it and was unaware and something happened, she wouldn't be able to protect herself because she wouldn't take the precautions. That's the problem. And when you look back, we're talking several generations. Well, I don't want to get too deep into it. My daughter didn't deserve that from Megan in any way. And I haven't went after her children whatsoever, never once. All you have to do is even mention that she has children and she comes unglued. There's something wrong with this woman. Just all I'm saying, I don't know what it is. My opinion of her is lower than the deepest rock on Earth. And the shell of the Earth was all rock at one time. So that's pretty low, right? Lisa said, "Hey, Super Dave, at least we are free thinkers." Yep. We're free thinkers and they're free stinkers. That's how it rhymes, but it's true. Amen, Stacy says Milltown. Sylvia, he blocks anyone who does not worship the ground he walks on. Yep. Oh, one thing about it, you don't have to see him to know where he walked ahead of you. The way he if I remember right, didn't when George was getting ready to go back to where he was, didn't he say something about he was going to have to take a shower? Oh, I wonder if that means when he's up north for 6 months, he waits 6 months before he does. Just the thought of it. You can smell the trail. You don't have to look at it. Oh, let's see. Shelly said I was blocked from JH's channel. Cindy said he can come after me. I have nothing left for him to take. He wants to take your soul. He wants to take how you feel. There are people out there that are scared of him, and if he can intimidate you, he will do it. Always looking is for a weak spot, and he'll look until he finds something. Oh, Linda says the same for me, but I still have a mouth. Oh, heck. Those bumpkins, excuse me, are extremely insecure. How you doing, Nicole? Thank you for saying good morning. And everyone, Nicole says hi to everybody out there. Darwin, evil hates truth. You're right, Darwin. I think you, actually on your channel, you had talked about that too. I would recommend it if people want to get some down-home talk about the good things in life and the things to watch out for. I'd go to Darwin's channel. I drop in every once in a while and get an education, and it's calming. If you go into Darwin's channel, he'll calm your nerves down for you. I guarantee you. I wouldn't cross the street to spit on Jeremy. Well, we can have a contest to see who can spit the furthest. Maybe we can spit across that street. Okay, a little humor. Let's see. Lucinda says, I keep getting calls saying I have a civil suit against me. I tell him, if you have all my info, bring the papers to my house. Quit having called me. I've had easily over 1,000 times in my channel, way over that, about the taking snapshots, and it would appear before the judge. Now, for the number of them that came in here to pull stuff off my channel to put to a judge, as far as I know, I'm not too sure there's any judge out there that has the time to even read the number of times that those are on there. And they're all threats in a manner of speaking, because what they're trying to do is keep me from repeating words that may have been said by either Jeremy or somebody following his channel. And I try to explain on there, but these people out there apparently aren't real intelligent. Because I try to explain, it's my opinion. It's the way I see things, the way I see it. And when we're in here, and I put on there a few times, it's the way you see it as well. It's your opinion, the right that we have by Constitution. And we're not going after somebody to be mean. We're trying to warn people ahead of time, maybe, of what to expect. That's it. No big deal. I don't tell you to go over there and not watch him. That don't make sense, but you know what I mean. There are people out there that I wouldn't associate with, but that's just me. That's my opinion, and that's how I feel. I've got a right not to associate with somebody that I don't like, or that I might be afraid that they drag me down to their level. I may not want that. It's not that I walk on water, because I certainly don't. All right, what we got here? Katie says, like and subscribe. Yeah, everybody's on here has to have been subscribed. Otherwise, they can't make a comment anyway. But it'd be the more people that subscribe, the better off I am. The more attention we get to spread it, we can spread out more, get more people involved. Maybe we'll have a louder voice out there. Let's see. It's 10 already, so In about 15 minutes, I want to call it quits because I do have to get out there and try to get that snow off the deck and a place for Puppy to run around. I'm going to be kind of busy for the next hour and a half. Angel, good morning. My grandpa used to say about people like that are like watching someone eat a sandwich with dog poo in the middle. If they swallow, you know they're full of poo. It makes sense to me. It's logical. The queen of my house is I was subscribed, then for some reason I wasn't. Now I am again. I don't know what does that. It's happened to me different times in channels. When the bots do house cleaning, sometimes if somebody hasn't been on another channel very long, they clean them off the house. Now, quite a while ago, my channel got cleaned off pretty good. And I don't know why. It might have been maybe a complaint or something come in. But I know different times people have complained because all of a sudden they've lost subscribers and they don't know why. There's been times where I was scrubbed off channels and I didn't know if the person did it or if a bot did it from YouTube. Tammy says, good morning, Ray. Tammy J. Stacy, good morning, Tammy. Oh, hi, guys. Good morning. Yeah, about another little over 10 minutes and we'll call her a day. If you got something important, let's get her up on here where we can talk about it or use it tomorrow morning sometime. As long as I've got mornings free, I'll try to get up here and get something on here. And I'll try to give you a half hour to an hour warning at least when we can do it. Queen of my house is, and I keep getting memberships to this other channel. I can stand one of the cult channels. What's up with that? Probably when anybody volunteers to pay memberships in don't matter what channel you're in, the person that's doing it doesn't get to choose the ones that get the membership. The YouTube and whatever they do choose who gets it. So what happens, somebody says, okay, I'm going to buy 10 memberships or 20 or whatever it is. And it's just, boom, luck of the draw. And that's why you end up with a membership, whether you want it or not. Linda Lives, today is my 7th. Well, happy birthday, Linda. Yeah. So I'm getting up there with you, Ray. Guess I'm demented just like you. Well, let's see. Now, I'm not really a fair singer, but happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Linda. Happy birthday to you. That's Acapulco or whatever they call it. No music in the background. I hope it didn't hurt your ears any, Linda, but in all sincerity, happy birthday. And glad you're catching up. Unfortunately, before, sometime the next 7 months, I'll gain another year. So, let's see. All right, everybody out there is wishing you a happy birthday. So there it be. Lisa will be on tonight. We'll have to remind Lisa to sing happy birthday to you. She does a little better job of it, and she's been doing it on a regular basis. So, oh, says that was awesome. You're being too nice, huh? Oh, and Linda says, thank you all. I love it. It's kind of fun once in a while to bring somebody up and give them a little attention and add a little redness to their cheek. Oh, heck. Can I mention that thing on Megan's face? It suits her in the movie Wicked. Go ahead. Oh, that was great, Ray. Maybe you and Lisa can do it together. But I'll tell you what, when we get down there in the springtime, If I have my way about it, I'm gonna get her on. I've got a channel out there where I do quite a bit of singing. I'll get her and Gabe on there, and we'll try to. If I can talk them into it, I'll talk them into cutting a song on there, and then we'll give you a link to it. How's that? It's Pearl Harbor Day. Yes, it is. Japan on this day, December 7th, bombed Pearl Harbor and drug us into World War II. Up to that point, we were supplying equipment and things for the European theater. A lot of our men were in England. They volunteered to help England fight. But World War II, for us, we become fully involved on December 7th. And that was when Japanese pretty much decimated our Navy. We found out, and to this day, I've never figured out why we had so many ships sitting in Pearl Harbor. But, eventually Hawaii was pretty well taken over. And, they talk about the United States, not a foreign war, not fought on the United States, but Hawaii at that time was part of the U.S., even though it wasn't a state. And so, they were there, and it was a bad time. I know a lot of people probably were upset when the atomic bombs were set off over there on 2 of the cities in Japan. If that hadn't happened, a lot more people would have passed away in this world than what passed away in those 2 cities. They attacked the United States first, and the United States finally retaliated in a force that I hope we never have to see again. A matter of fact, if something like that happened, I believe it would cause the destruction of the world, because there's too many of those types of bombs out there. And that's my opinion, okay? I know people will do anything to protect themselves, but if you release enough bombs like that, you won't be protecting yourself. And one of these days, I'm going to go into a story and explain to you that when I was in the military, the outfit that was attached to our company, it was called the Davy Crockett outfit. And our post, the people who were on there, we were considered disposable. And that we were to only hold the border for about 10 to 15 minutes. That doesn't make you feel real safe or very good. But when you go in the military, you don't have a choice of where you're going or what you're going to do. You're sent, you belong to the Army or the Navy or the Air Force. You belong with the military force of the United States at that point, and you have to do what they tell you, period. Otherwise, your life will be destroyed, and you don't want that. Judy wanted to know what Lisa's channel is called. It's called Two Lees in a Pod. I'm sorry. Two Lees in a Pod. Yeah, Pearl Harbor. Oh, Stacy, check your messenger. Here's a link. And that's Two Lees in a Pod. She uses, let's say her assets for membership. I'm a little sick of seeing those puppies. All you can do is watch the screen, and they are the sloppy twins. Then talks about Lisa. Yeah. Yep. The heck it is. These people that talk about Lisa, I don't know if they understand. Lisa doesn't go after anybody unless they go after her first. She doesn't go out and look for victims. She really has a good heart. And if you're ever in her channel and somebody's, explains that they have a problem or need something, it's almost an immediate response. Somebody jumps up there and helps. And most of the time, it is anonymously taken care of by people that do it out of their goodwill and big hearts, not somebody that wants to get noticed. So that says a lot for the people that follow that channel. And when you think of the people that follow these other channels and the difference in those people, it's night and day. It really is. And when you see them side by side by personalities, it's very, very much on display. All you have to do is listen and watch, and you're going to get a different outlook on a lot of the things that you were led to believe by the other channels. War is good for absolutely nothing. Yeah, I can't see how wars settle things. I know that if you're unable to defend yourself, you're going to get walked over. And that's what happened in the European theater back World War I and World War II both. You have to have enough to defend yourself so that people are scared to attack you. There is no other explanation. Look at the war that's going on over there between Ukraine and Russia right now. It's sickening. If you want to stop a war between two countries like that, you stop anything from coming and going out of the borders of those two countries, and they're going to come to an agreement very quickly. Because each country out there trades with the world. They don't just trade within themselves. And it could happen here in the United States. We found out during COVID how dependent we were on foreign entities. You couldn't get a mask. You couldn't get the paper suits. It's pretty hard to wipe your butt when there's no toilet paper out there. What I'm telling you is you can cut supply and finances off and stop a war almost immediately. We're out there trying to stop a war, and we're selling war machines and the weaponry. The same thing has happened, with China and Russia. China supplies it. China is the biggest supplier of the world right now of equipment and supplies of just about everything. But the same thing could happen to China. Cut them off so that they can't send or receive things, and very quickly they would fold. I'm not sure what NATO is good for. NATO was formed to stop wars and prevent it. But it hasn't worked that way, and I don't have a lot of faith that the NATO ever will. So, in my opinion, that's all it is. All right. Queen says, I dislike it very much, and her hair is a home job, but they all tell her it's lovely. I was going to tell you. Maybe this is why she gets so upset with me, but a while back, she'd been off, like way up in the corner of the screen, when she would transmit. And she was talking about, I think, some trial somewhere. I don't know where it was. But anyway, her hair was going in every direction. You could tell that a comb had to have been through it that morning. And I thought, I'm surprised she didn't use an emoji rather than the screen. I don't know if she just forgot to, or what the whole deal was about, screening herself from seeing her in that position. I know it's not nice to laugh about it, but it looked bad. And I did mention it because it wasn't the only time that was going on. I think I don't know if she was getting lazy or what the deal was. Apparently she was going on there as soon as she got out of bed, because that's what it looked like. But if you mention something like that, you're on her hit list. So she's going to come after you. Obviously she's going to come after me. And why not? The older you get, there's more to go after. These lifelines all over me, the gray whiskers that you have to get up close to see. All those things are part of life, right? And so if they're scrutinized, all of a sudden you think, oh shit, there's something wrong with that guy. Well, all I can tell you is if you live long enough, you're gonna look closer and closer like somebody like me. Because just like a lot of babies look alike, a lot of older people start looking alike too. It's the gray lines and the cheeks that start sagging, and the teeth that yellow with age a little bit, and you know what I'm talking about. It's just a natural look. That's all. And there's nothing wrong with being natural. Have you checked out the guy she wrote the book with? The one about the library? It's an eye opener. I'll have to go back and look and see what's going on there. Tricky, glad you got home from the hospital yesterday. Everybody out there, Tricky is home. Tricky G. So good wishes and lots of prayers, Tricky. We're glad to see you made it back home. Let's see. King says, good afternoon, everyone. How are you? I'm feeling pretty good today. Ooh, she come home after me as it in a date. Welcome back, Tricky. And queen of the house, too. I didn't realize you were in the hospital. I guess it went over my head. Let's see. Tricky needs snacks and scritches. What is scritches? King says, welcome home, my beautiful princess. King Paco. You were in for a whole week. You know, I seem to remember somebody said you were going in, but all of a sudden I didn't hear any more about it. How are you feeling, Tricky? Is everything okay? Yeah, John says he's glad to see you're home and on the way to recovery. Had 2 infections and enemy 8C with 4 different vitamins. Wow. Says her book is on Amazon, too expensive for me. Just kidding. She professes to be Catholic as well. She is a nightmare. Healing thoughts and prayers, Tricky. Yes. And that goes for, there's quite a few people out there right now that follows our different channels that have had some ailments and that are being treated. We're going to be treated very soon. So hopefully we can take care of each other in prayer. Yeah. It says, no way is she a practicing Catholic. The hard thing about, religion in general, and I'm a Christian and don't mind saying so. Everybody practices their religion in different levels. And sometimes they're going to miss the boat if they're not careful. When you make a proficiency, if you claim to be very religious, no matter what the religion is that you're in, but don't follow the covenants, what makes you think that the good Lord is going to let you in through the pearly gates? Now, I realize none of us ever going to meet the expectations of how we felt about Jesus Christ. perfection isn't in our DNA because, we're related to Abel and Cain, each of us. And a piece of that's there, regardless of how we'd like to leave it behind. It's there. And it's up to us the path we want to choose. My advice is pick the light of path of Christ, and you're going to be happy for eternity rather than having a good time here on earth. That's just how I feel about it. And I don't tell anybody to be one thing or the other. I have my belief, and I don't mind. I made my peace with the Lord a long time ago. I'm not afraid of, if he comes calling tomorrow, I'll gladly leave. I don't have a problem whatsoever with that. Matter of fact, I know somebody very special on the other side right now. Oh, let's see. Her book is on Amazon. Okay. I think it is for the license, if you know what I mean. We should find out if she's putting money in the plate or taking it out. Oh, heck. When I was a kid, you would hear the change clink in the offering plate when it be passed. And you can almost tell the nickels and dimes and pennies from each other by the sound in the plate and the rustle of a dollar bill. But our church was extremely poor. And the minister of our church, no matter who it was, they would come in, had to work a full-time job. There just wasn't enough money in there hardly to cover utilities. A house was given, a parsonage house was there. So they got a house, and the church would pay for utilities of the house and the church. And the church actually was smaller than the house. It was a big 2-story home that was given with it, side by side into the church. Back then, it seemed like it was more real. There was no, glamour. It was just a plain Jane type church, white on the outside, white on the inside. We came in there to hear the minister, and we were all smiles and shake his hand on the way out. That was, we had Sunday school and things like that. And we had Christmas programs and Easter programs and, different plays during the year. Back then, without TV, we didn't have TV when I was real young. It was a good place to spend your time when you were a kid. You didn't mind going to church. I don't know what they do today. I honestly don't. I do know that attendance for churches is down. And the people that claim to be one religion or the other is way down compared to what it was when I was a kid. Almost everybody said they were practicing, Baptist or the Christian church or something, Catholic. Everybody professed to be religious. That's just the way it was. Now today, it doesn't seem to be quite something that somebody wants to say they are. And maybe the people over 50, 60, or 70 are willing to profess, but it would be rare for somebody in their 20s. No matter what religion you choose, you are to treat others as you would the Lord, as he is in all of us. He's our creator. You have to understand that we owe our existence to one person, one existence. J.H. first scam was using the church to make money. My understanding is he was able to increase the coffers quite a bit out there. And a matter of fact, this morning I happened to look back at the church he had preached in, the camp where he was executive director, and some of the programs he put on out there. Interesting reading. Doesn't seem like they're quite the same person, but you can see cracks even back then. And a major crack in 2014 that came to light, not only by the church, but by his wife and family. Let's see. getting your bread disguised as communion breadsticks. Oh. Linda said, I am far from perfect in body as hell, but I respect the Lord. Oh, Linda. I wanted to be a nun, but the nuns told me to go home and pray more for my vocation. Probably a good thing. Probably. Oh. No, that's why he's good at public speaking. Yeah, he learned how to draw people in, crowds, by the way he speaks. And it is an art. Let's see. That's why he's good at public speaking. Yes, that's correct. Lucinda said she wanted her daughter to be a nun. I don't know how good a life it is for a nun. I know that they have a love of the Lord, and that's who they answer to. But I don't know. There's a feeling I get sometimes of, I can remember now, like in the Catholic schools, it was usually, a Catholic sister that taught the classes. And I don't know. I used to go in there. I had friends that went to Catholic schools, and every once in a while I'd get invited in to spend a day, with the different friends I had at different times. And the classes were great. I mean, they really were. But the hierarchy as you go into the church, sometimes there's a certain amount of discipline with it that I didn't always agree with. And that's just about it. It was just a feeling. It was different, than the way I'd been brought up. Not that that was bad or anything. It's just different. Mike said, hi, Ray. How you doing, Mike? I see you got in here. Say hi to everybody, to Mike. Queen says, no, I have a few during service. As soon as they start preaching fake doctrine, I'm out. I have a Bible. I know what it says. It was a good thing for me. I had a good life as a wife and mother. Yeah, when you have a partner in life, it means everything. It's we were here to partner up and try to be as good as we can and do the things that the Lord asks us to do. The tools he gave us upon birth was up to us to develop, and the way we developed them, it was through our the spirit and soul that we were given in the breath of life upon birth. So yeah. All right. I went a half hour over what I was going to. 15 minutes past this morning. I hope you don't mind today, but I think I better end our stream here. And I appreciate everybody that came in there, and those of you that volunteered to become mods today. I'm very thankful for it. And the fact that we can talk on here without getting too upset. I don't think any of us got in a fight in here today. At least we can throw some barbs back and forth without drawing blood. And if we can do that, we'll keep on having our live shows on here, and we'll just kind of have a good time and mix humor in with real reality of how we see it today. And if we mix a little history in there to find out what our future is, well, we can do that too. For me, my next step in life will be trying to fix things so I can have eternal life. And it's not a joking matter or anything. I'm just ad-libbing a little bit. So For all of you out there, prayers for everybody that need the prayers, and prayers for you, even if you don't need them, that the Lord helps you so that it is not necessary on the health end. But I hope and pray that all of you can lead the life, or at least the happiness that I found out there that was free, didn't cost me a dime, because it means more than money itself. And you people out there that have backed me in some of the crazy things I've been involved in, thank you so much. And together we can build a better world. We can. And we become the barrier between the good and bad. And we know what the difference is. And that makes us different than those people that are following, as far as I'm concerned, following Jeremy's channel. That circle you see out there is a circle to keep us out of the circle. And it's not a bad idea. That's my opinion. That's the way I see it. And I hope we can all agree together of going on with a better life, if that makes sense. So with that, I'm going to let all of you go, and thank you for appearing today.